Okay, there's magic that happens when we're still. And you see, the yogis in ancient times, they figured all this out. They figured out how to engineer the body for health and wellness. Namaste. Welcome to Chi Acu Yoga. And today I'm going to introduce a few more points today that you can utilize in your practice to help yourself stay in balance, body, mind, and spirit, as we build our radiant health, day by day, step by step. We're going to start today with some new points and some new self-massage. But first we're going to just do our energy tonifying points, which are kidney 27. Just tap here. This is always a good place to start. Tapping sternum, immunity, and then tapping the top of the spleen meridian. One hand goes on the navel, the other above and below the lips, and rub. So these points I'm going to show you for today, these are going to address digestion, the parasympathetic nervous system, and women's health, women's issues. So whenever we massage this center, it's called the renmai, or this central vessel that comes up the front of the body and it ends here. Okay. This one is the top of the governing, which has come up and over the top. This point is specific for obesity. Okay? How many people are you going to see going around like this now, that they know that? But anytime that you're massaging directly on the center channel, you're helping your digestion. Okay? You're opening this up. A lot of people have a problem because they have a lot of congestion. You know, they've overeaten, they haven't digested what they've eaten, or they've eaten unhealthy food, processed food, junk food, etc. And it's well known in Ayurveda, which is the indigenous healing system of India, that the majority of diseases actually will start in the digestive tract. So that's why in yoga and Ayurveda there's a lot of emphasis on clearing this abdominal, we want this whole abdominal digestive complex to be really clear and really humming. Because if it's not, if your digestive system and your colon and your tummy and everything if it's overburdened, okay, if your lymphatic system is clogged with waste, then your body's energy, your prana, your chi of your body is going to be occupied in a cleanup mission, okay? It's kind of like, that's why it brings your immunity down. Because see, we're an energetic system. We're a holistic energetic system. So if all of this digestive region is needing like so much attention and there's so much backlog and there's so much cleanup needed, then you're just not going to have the energy available to do stuff like, I don't know, whatever you're trying to create in your life. You know, it's really that holistic. So if you get your digestion elimination, lymphatic, if you get that flowing and free and in balance, you're going to have a lot more energy to do other stuff that you want to do, like maybe do yoga, do some yoga poses. So that's what all these points that we're going to work on today are, okay? So, but first these are very good. And then another one we can work right off the bat, CV12. So this is, we want to come down central vessel number 12. So it's just below the sternum, you have this like little tiny shark tooth hanging down. That's called the xiphoid process. We want to go slightly below that and just rub there. And it might be sore. Okay, and generally speaking, these acupoints, if they're super sore, you know, that's a blocked point. And so as we massage it though, it'll start to clear up. But make sure you go at least 2 fingers underneath where the sternum ends, and then go 2 fingers for the sharp tooth, and then just rubbing that point. Woo! Beautiful. Great. Okay. And now this main digestive tonification point, stomach 36, is right here. Okay, so here's the knee, right? Underneath the knee, on the lateral side, on the outside of this big bone here, the shin bone, the tibia, you go underneath that bump. There's the knee, that's a big bump. There's another bump underneath the knee to the side, and then there's a little dip. Okay, right to the side of that tibia bump. Go into the first dip that you come to and start to rub there. And whoo! You might feel, if you really got the point, you're going to feel this shooting all the way down your leg. And that's how you know you're on the point. Now this is a great tonification point, and it's good to pound it. Okay, this is one of the points on the body. It's not delicate at all. Okay, it's not like this one up here. You want to first be sure you've located the point, and then once you've located it, you can definitely pound that. So this is on the stomach meridian. So stomach obviously has to do with digestion. And in yoga and Chinese medicine, we don't only digest the food we eat, we have to digest all of our sensory impressions. Okay? Woo, think of the implications of that. So this is why we need to take downtime, yin time, timeouts, because we're being blasted, you know, with all these devices and screens and things to respond to. We have to digest all that. So just really pound and tap, or you know, using whatever body part you want. If it feels better to rub it, you can rub it. But this stomach 36 is something that you can do for your basic energetic hygiene. You can massage that point every day. Okay, and then the next one is going to be spleen 6. So spleen and stomach are partners in Chinese medicine. So the stomach is more about the digestion, and the spleen is more about, governs more assimilation. So after we've taken it in, we have to make it our own. Okay. So the spleen meridian, we want to come, and actually this is a triple whammy. This is called 3 yin crossing, but it's generally known as spleen 6, and this is a major tonification point, especially good for women, but men too. The more overweight you are, the more tender this is going to be, by the way. Because this point governs a lot of water fluids in the body, water fluid flow, and is directly connected to the lower abdominal organs, including the reproductive organs. And so this is why women, this whole spleen meridian system often needs a lot of attention. So I'm finding the best way to massage this is using my thumb, but you can see I'm about 4 fingers of my own fingers above my ankle bone on the inside of my shin. And I'm just gonna find a little, ooh, and you know when you found it because it's tender. And you just wanna rub that. And you can rub until it clears. Now it might not clear in one run, but it's just good to say hello to this point, okay, to open it up. And you can work both at the same time. And just know that you are activating this flow of energy that's coming right up into your lower abdominals. So this point is also affecting digestion. This is more digestion of the lower digestive tract and reproductive system, both for men and women, but particularly women generally need attention to this point, particularly because women have more water. Women are more watery than men. Excellent. Another great point I'm just going to throw in on the spleen meridian, spleen 10. And this is slightly above the knee, also to the inside. It's just a very fleshy area. And this is a good menstrual regulation point. It's just, these are just tonification. Tonification just means allowing that system to have more energy. Okay? So if the point is very sore, it means that it's kind of maybe blocked. It maybe needs a little bit of your love, a little bit of your attention. My spleen 10s aren't particularly that sore. Great. Okay. So there's other spleen points. There's actually some at the groin, and I did cover that in the video that I did when I talked about the Asana number 3, which is also a great point, a great pose for women reproductive. But we're not going to focus on Marichi number 3 today, because I want to just do some real basic poses that also address these meridians, okay? That can help your digestion, elimination, and tonify your reproductive system. So the first one is this Upavista. And so all of these are great women's poses because they do address these meridians. And so this is another one of these basic poses that we need to master toward the beginning of our seated work, okay? Usually I begin with the standing work because it's more accessible to beginners, but we do have to come down to the floor eventually. Now, if you're unable to sit on the floor like this, you can use a block. And I'm going to show you from the side. Okay. Because what we're going for is we want to be able to roll our pelvic bones up forward like this. So oftentimes you'll see people sitting like this in this posture, which is a great way to work at the beginning. If you can sit like this at the beginning, if this is all you got for Upavista, you're fine. Okay? This is a great place to work. However, if you're able to sit like this easily, you can begin to work forward. Okay, keeping the spine long. And as we come forward, you're going to feel, okay? Because see, everyone thinks that they're just stretching muscles, right? Like this is a big adductor stretch. Well, yes, it is. But as somebody pointed out to me a long time ago in my journey, is we're not just stretching muscles, we're also stretching meridians. So we're getting a chi flow when we do this. So this is why this is tonifying to not only the female reproductive system and the male reproductive system, but to your digestion and your parasympathetic nervous system, because we're getting all these points. Okay? If you're able, one day you'll be able to come all the way down. And when you can go all the way down, you will very strongly feel it on those meridians. Okay? The other pose that's often given for women and that also benefits, particularly these are all for the spleen meridian, is we want to come into this Supta Baddha Konasana, which people like to call butterfly. None of my teachers ever let us flap the wings, but I have seen that done. It just depends on what yoga school you're learning in. But this posture is a great restorative posture. And just know that you're actually working, believe it or not, you're working on your digestion and particularly on your assimilation. Because these, and I'm going to show how to do this posture as a restorative. Because see, what's restorative? Restorative pose is a pose that is bringing you into your parasympathetic nervous system. What's parasympathetic? That is relax and assimilate, digest. and also repair. Okay, relax, repair, regenerate, all these things that too many demands, too many outer demands on us don't allow us to do. So this is why many of us do yoga, is because we have to claim it. Okay? So one way you can set up in this Supta Baddha Konasana with a couple of blocks and just open this whole inner. Okay, these are getting all the yin meridians, not only the spleen, but also kidney meridian and liver. These are all great energy tonic points. And just open up, just let everything open up. You can feel the energy flowing into your lower belly. And just let yourself feel that beautiful feeling. Now I know that it might be very intense for some people, this inner groin stretch. So I'm going to show you another way that you can use your blocks in this posture. So we're going to take our 2 bricks and we're going to place them instead under our knees. Okay? Soles of the feet are still together. Heels are drawn in toward the pelvis. And then we're going to lie back. Okay, and I'm just scooting in so my heels are as close as possible, but now my knees are supported on the blocks. And I can take my arms out to the side, or I can have them on my lower belly. Women will place the right first, men will place the left first. And just relax. And we just relax when we let it take a time out. We feel that magic. Okay, there's magic that happens when we're still. And so we've put ourselves into a shape called a yoga pose or an asana. We've put ourselves in the shape. And now the shape is directing or dictating how our energy is going to flow. You see, the yogis in ancient times, they figured all this out. They figured out how to engineer the body for health and wellness. So it's a very restorative, very relaxing pose. Okay? Wonderful. Closing the legs. And you can roll to the side to come up. Okay? And so in those poses, we were getting this inner, this yin line addressed. Spleen, okay? Spleen, kidney, liver. But now we got to go for this the stomach, which is the partner to the spleen meridian. So there's several ways we can do this. One of them, which is the easiest way, which I showed in my last video, is the lunge. So what's happening in the lunge is this line is getting stretched. And this is stomach meridian starts up here. And it comes all the way down the front like this. And then of course your abdomen is opening. You're opening the space. Okay, what happens when we open space? We're not only stretching muscles, but we're opening that meridian. Okay, when we open the meridian, we're creating more space. Well, what happens in the space? The energy flows, the chi flows. Okay, so air element. So in the Indian system, okay, yoga system, it's called Vayu or prana. So we're getting a flow of prana. Where does the prana flow? It flows through the space. Okay, what happens when we get into the yoga pose? We're creating space. So this is all that's happening. It's really simple. And then we can take it back, other side. I'm using bricks because it's a little bit easier with bricks. You do not have to use bricks. But if you're flexible enough that you don't need bricks, you're probably not tuning into me, but you might be. Thank you. But just open that space. This posture, the other thing that I didn't mention in my other video, is that this lunge is, as it's opening the front of the hip, this is a counterpose to too much sitting. Because when we're sitting, we're always sitting with our hips, right? Our legs at a 90-degree angle to our torso, and energy gets stuck here in the groin. So we have to open it up with a lunge, all right? I'm going to show you another way to open it. This is a little bit more advanced, but some of you might be able to do it. So from lying down, we're going to see if we can tuck our foot under, okay? This is a half Supta Virasana. I understand it's a little bit more advanced. It takes a lot of flexibility here, but some people are just naturally flexible in this way. And you can see how beautifully and nicely open that this gets. And then we do, of course, both sides. And then once you get really advanced, then you do both legs at the same time, Supta Virasana. But this is bringing that flow of chi through the whole abdomen and through the stomach meridian. Excellent. We'll just rest for a moment in Baddha Konasana. And then coming up. And I'm going to show you one more pose today for digestion. And that is nothing other than the belly down back bend. Okay? So however you're going to do it. Now belly down back bends generally take a little bit less strength than when you push up. So in my classes with beginners, I generally start with the Sphinx. See how my whole belly is being open and stretched. And here I'm getting a stomach meridian, this central vessel, definitely central vessel. And kidney meridian also runs down the front, but it's deep, and liver, and some spleen too. So this really gets a lot. If you're able to push up into Cobra, this is deeper. You have to engage the gluteus. And I normally like to work Cobra in a dynamic. So if you come to my class, this is the kind of thing to expect. But the way I teach is I do teach in a seamless flow. Okay, to neutralize the back bend, I like to do this windshield wiper. Just take the feet back and forth. Great. And then the last belly down back bend we're going to do is this bow pose, the Dhanurasana. So we grab our ankles and we lift up any amount. Pressing the shins back. Whether you flex your feet or not, it's totally up to you. They're slightly different. But here you can see my belly is really strongly pressing into the floor. And so that is giving a direct massage, okay? There's no woo-woo there. This is just direct physical pressure to the abdominal organs, okay, that you can achieve in that Dhanurasana. So let's come into windshield wiper, if you did that. Beautiful. Pressing up. Okay, what we need to do, since we did some back bends, we're going to want to do a twist. So I'm going to close this class with some reclining twists. And so all that's going to happen, I'm going to bring my right foot to my left knee, and I'm going to take that over the midline of my body. And I'm going to extend out that right arm. Nice deep twist. So twists are neutralizers. Rolling back. And they also strongly address the abdominal organs, both the digestive and the reproductive. So these are great poses for everyone to keep those vital organs tonified. Again, tonified just means that we're bringing blood, we're bringing chi, we're bringing lymph. We're cleaning it, we're stimulating it. So the Western allopathic medicine doesn't really have the concept of tonification. That's why if you use that term among Westerners, they're often confused. But it's a very common term in Chinese medicine. We want to tonify this, tonify that. It's just we're bringing energy to it, we're stimulating it. We're making it stronger than it is. So in that way, it's part of our preventative healthcare maintenance. Tonification is done when you're healthy. Okay, it's not a medicine that's given when you're sick. So there's not only tonifying points, but there's tonifying herbs that you can take. And obviously the points that we stimulate in the poses that we do are tonifiers as well. And so let's just end class here in Supta Baddha Konasana. And then you can come into Shavasana. You can stay Shavasana for as long as you like. It's really a good pose to do. So you can, again, assimilate, right? Because all the poses that we do, those also have to be digested and assimilated by the body. And so this is the reason that Shavasana is given, okay? It's so you can digest the pranic meal that you have taken in with your yoga asana practice. So I really hope you've enjoyed this class with me today, and please drop me a comment or an email if you would like to join my online class, which I offer on Zoom, happening 4 days a week. Namaste. Thank you so much.